let's get into this. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how we make this happen. Okay, the best part is we're keeping it simple and straightforward. And before I dive into the how, because I'm often asked, what does this look like, right? I want to show you what an integrated framework, an ELG framework, looks like. It's hard to read. That's not the point, but it's hard to read. But the key is, if you go from left to right, it's mission, goals, objectives, and strategies. And the thing is, it's literally on one page, right? So this is your combining experience with strategic planning. And so when we look at the first step is to include experience in your mission and your vision statements. Let's look at Salesforce. Their philosophy is all about building bridges between companies and customers, creating those meaningful connections that drive success. BMW takes it even further by incorporating stakeholder experience into the mission and vision. And so they explicitly call out communities, customers, employees, competitors, and industry players in those statements. And so it's a holistic approach that sets the stage for greatness. And then once you've done that, you're going to set up goals, right? You're only going to have 4 or 5 goals. They're prioritized. They're goals related to moving the needle. And that's how you get the organization to be laser focused. And in each one of those goals, you're going to incorporate your view, or you're going to incorporate what you're going to do about integrating experience into that. So now that you have an idea of what the framework looks like, let's talk a little bit more about how to go do this. So how do you understand, I'm going to start off with, how do you understand the experience that your stakeholders want? So we can determine what that experience is, meaning by sitting in a conference room and doing sticky notes. But that doesn't work. And that's actually one of the driving forces behind CX's elusive impact on revenue. So let's go outside the box. And so there's 3 ways that I recommend you do this. One is to start with trend analysis and signposting. The second is conduct co-creation sessions with representatives of each one of those groups, and then augment it with qualitative interviews. Sounds like an awful lot. It's not. But what you're going to get by using these 3 approaches is you're going to get faster data, more actionable and reliable data. So the focus is on quality of the depth and actionable understanding of their definition of experience and what they want when, over having gobs and gobs and gobs of interviews and sessions. So you're looking at focus. When we take then that understanding and we've decided what our brand or our mission is on experience, let's talk about integrating it into the fabric of an organization, into your goals and your objectives. And let's go back to BMW. So BMW wanted to bring experience into the manufacturing process. So one of the business objectives was to ship each customer a video of their actual car being built. So what happened? What was the result of that? And so manufacturing quality went up, customers ordered more extras, and employee pride soared. I mean, that's a total win-win. That is the power of ELG. So we focus on needle movers, on what has to happen that keeps the process focused, simple, and flexible. And so there you have it. ELG, experience-led growth, is a game changer. And as I wrap up, I want to leave you with a quote from the great Peter Drucker that perfectly captures the essence of why ELG is rising in popularity. In a world of constant change and uncertainty, relying on outdated strategies and approaches can spell disaster. So ELG empowers us to break free from the shackles of yesterday's logic and embrace new ways of thinking and new ways of thriving. So as we embrace ELG, let's remember to stay open to possibilities, to challenge the status quo, and to infuse every process, strategy, and interaction with the power of exceptional experiences. And to get you started, because I am so passionate about this, to get you started, I'm offering a 30-minute consultation. The Calendly link is down at the bottom. We're going to talk about, where you are, where your team is, your function, your department. We're going to talk about a quick assessment, and then we're going to talk about how to get started. Do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. So I hope you take me up on it. Like I said, no obligation, really, really, really. And thank you for joining me on this adventure to the age of experience-led growth. So let's go forth and let the experience revolution begin. So back to you, Joe.
Thank you, Christine. That was awesome. Let's leave that slide up for a bit so people can grab that link. I really just had one question for you from your presentation, was about getting started on this pathway. Like, what are really some of the biggest or most major indicators you get from a business that tells them or lets them know that they're suffering from like a lack of this experience-led growth thing that you're trying to help solve? Like, what are some of the big breaking points that you notice within a business that says, we haven't been focusing on this?
That's a really good question. And there are so many. I think the easiest one, or the most prevalent, there's a couple of prevalent ones that I see. One is, if we're talking about a SaaS business, going from a sale to an onboarding, right? There is oftentimes a disconnect that happens there, in which the customer had a great experience on the sales side, and then they get into onboarding, and it's different, right? And it winds up causing dissatisfaction. What's sitting underneath it, right? Because I see the world through the eyes of customers. What's sitting underneath it is that question of, gee, did we make a mistake? And well, maybe we won't renew, right? Or maybe we'll get out of this contract. I see that a lot. I think the other side of it is they have one experience, and you encounter finance and you have a completely different experience. And what we don't think about it from the vendor side is, we don't think that from the customer's view, or the investor or the supplier's view, is they don't see the differences in the departments. They're just seeing it as an experience. And so at each one of those points where there isn't an opportunity exploited to deliver value and a great experience, is an opportunity where that vendor may say, I'm not going to do business anymore with this brand, or that prospect is going to go somewhere else, or that investor is going to become an activist investor, or may not do that next round. And so there are so many places that we don't think about it, because we're so focused just on the customer, or just on the employee, and just on the revenue.
Yeah. And it sounds like if you're just looking at your metrics, you can always find a point of friction and kind of start digging there. But once you move beyond just the internal, it sounds like there's much more opportunity external too. You said with stakeholders, with your community and things like that. So super excited to kind of dig into this a little bit more. I hope everybody caught your link there and is taking that opportunity to book some time with Christine. Christine, thank you so much for joining us today. This is an awesome topic. And best of luck as the summer moves on.
Yeah, thank you. Have fun.